Hello, friends, and welcome into College Football Now. I am your host, Tom Downey, back in with a brand new AP Top 25 poll, and there are some big-time changes this week at the top. Not the very tippy top. Bama and LSU, they remain number 1 and number 2, but Ohio State, they jump up. They were tied for Clemson. Now they are the outright third team. Clemson drops down to number 4, and Oklahoma stays at the number 5 spot. Speaking of Alabama, stay tuned for a little bit. Coming up, we will have a Tua injury update for you on his ankle and an updated look at the very top of the Heisman Trophy race. A new number 6, that is Penn State. They go up 1 spot. Florida, bit of a scare there from South Carolina, but they still go up 2 spots. They jump number 8, Notre Dame, in the process. Auburn goes up 2 spots to number 9, and Georgia checks in at number 10. Now, Wisconsin and Ohio State, they play this week. This one's going to be a home game for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And maybe Wisconsin got, caught looking ahead this weekend. They lose, of course, to Illinois. More on where they check in just a second. But let me know in the comment section who you guys are picking this week. Give me O for Ohio State, W for Wisconsin. It wasn't going to change for me regardless of what happened this past week, but it's even more obvious now. I got the Buckeyes winning this week. It was supposed to be a top 10 matchup. Instead, it'll have to be just a top 15 matchup, as the Wisconsin Badgers are now ranked 13th in the AP Top 25 poll. Oregon's number 11. Utah's number 12. Some big wins there for the Pac-12 programs. Baylor, they jump up 4 spots this week from 18 to 14. They jump Texas, who barely hung on against Kansas. Texas is back to not losing to Kansas. Now, if you guys love college football and you want more coverage, well, the link right there is below. Subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. We got you covered on Heisman rankings, a full top 8 coming out later on this week. So make sure you subscribe for that. Get those notifications turned on. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. All right, number 16, SMU. They go up 3 spots with their victory. Minnesota also climbs up 3 spots to number 17. Cincinnati, they're number 18. Michigan drops down to number 19, a slide of only 3. And now they get the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at home. I'm very curious to see how this one goes. Notre Dame, this is really their last true test. And Michigan, slow to start against Penn State, did put together a comeback effort. If the Fighting Irish win this one, the buzz around Jim Harbaugh will grow louder, and the Fighting Irish have a better chance of actually, making the college football playoff once again. So who do you guys have? Let me know in the comment section. Give me an N for Notre Dame and an M for Michigan. That is N for Notre Dame and M for Michigan. Tough one for me. Even though it's a road game, I'm going to lean Notre Dame, but I'm not too confident on that one. At least not yet. All right, the rest of the top 25, then we'll get to the teams receiving votes here. App State, they remain undefeated, 6-0. They rise up 3 spots. Boise State, they drop a game. They slide down to number 22, a big-time tumble. They were number 14 before the loss. Iowa State, they get back in the top 25. Arizona State falls from their loss to Utah. And welcome back, Wake. They resume being in the top 25. They are 6-1 this season. Other teams receiving votes. Memphis, decent amount behind them. Then a big drop-off from 87 points. Again, 1 for each position you're at. So 25 gets 1, 24 gets 2. Virginia only has 29. San Diego State, 17. The same votes as Pitt has, 17. Washington still getting some votes, 15. Navy's got 9. They're next up there. Texas A&M, they've got 6. Missouri has 4 after they surprisingly lost to Vanderbilt. UCF has 3. USC has 3, and then some other small schools here to round out the receiving votes. Louisiana Tech, they've got 2, and Tulane, well, they've got 1. We promised you a little brief preview of our Heisman top power rankings coming out later on this week on the channel. It's a big 3 right now. We'll get to it in a second, I promise. Joe Burrow, Justin Fields, and Jalen Hurts. They've all played fantastic this season. Look at Joe Burrow's numbers, though. Almost 2,500 yards, way more than Justin Fields. The touchdown, super impressive for Burrow as well. 29. He's looked fantastic this year. At least for me, I think most of you out there, it's a big 3 right now of Burrow, Fields, and Hurts. If you guys want to bet on college football, I'm sure you've made money betting on Ohio State, or at least if you did, on Ohio State, LSU, and Alabama this year. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. That promo code you see on your screen, CFB 120 gets you a 120% deposit bonus. What that means is put down $50, they're just going to give you $60 for free. It is the single best betting deal out there. It's chatsports.com/bet. Promo code, once again, CFB120. The Tua injury update. Not good news here for Alabama. Tua once again has suffered a high ankle sprain. Suffered this one against Tennessee. This, by the way, is the same injury he had late last year, but it's actually on the opposite ankle. Now, he had that same, what they call the tightrope ankle procedure on Sunday. The hope is that Tua can get back in time for LSU. He will not play this coming weekend against Arkansas, and it's a big blow to Alabama. The backup right now is Matt Jones. Of course, Tua's little brother also enrolled at Alabama. Tua's been, well, he's been Tua. 75% almost, over 2,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. He has been the perfect quarterback for this Alabama offense, the perfect executioner of it altogether. Here's Alabama's schedule without, potentially, Tua. Arkansas this coming weekend, October 26th. Then they have their bye week. That's a big break for Alabama if they can have that extra time frame, get Tua back for a home game against potentially number 1, number 2. It's a possibility against LSU. They're going to need him out there for that one. Then the schedule has a little bit of a lull. Mississippi State, not that good this year. Western Carolina, I could beat Western Carolina at quarterback for Alabama. Like, that's how good the other skill positions are for Alabama. Just run the football 150 times. We'd win by 20. No problem. Auburn, though, on the road, that will not be an easy one. So hopefully for Alabama and for Tua and his Heisman hopes and even his draft stock, he's able to get back in time for that November 9th game. But I will remind everybody, he was not the same guy last year dealing with that ankle injury. That's going to be a red flag here for the Crimson Tide. All right, some winners and losers this week around college football. First up, the Big 12. Hey, they took care of business. Was it pretty? No, it was not always pretty. Oklahoma, they pound West Virginia. They now have 4 ranked programs. Texas, they take down Kansas, but very narrowly. It was 50-48. I'll get that corrected here for you guys in just a second. 50-48. It was a Dicker the Kicker type game there for Texas. Baylor, they take down Oklahoma State. And then Iowa State, they beat Texas Tech, and now they're ranked. So the Big 12, for their programs, now in the top 25. The Pac-12 also had things go their way this weekend. Most notably, Oregon and Utah. I mean, no disrespect to Arizona State, but Utah and Oregon always had the best chances of making the college football playoff. And Oregon on the road, if Washington can get 3 losses at most the rest of this year, maybe they lose a 4th, but hopefully not, that will be a top 25 win for them. Shout out Justin Herbert, a key game-winning drive. And then Utah taking on Arizona State. Zach Moss now has the most rushing yards in Utah school history. The Utah defense completely shut down Arizona State. That's not a typo. Jaden Daniels legitimately was 4 of 18 for 25 yards. That was all they had. So with Utah and Oregon still alive, they have to win out to get in all likelihood. Will a Pac-12 team get in the college football playoff? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. It's Y for yes, N for no. The Big Ten East, they are also a winner this week. Of course, Ohio State blows out Northwestern. Penn State hangs on against Michigan. Let's start with the Ohio State game. 279 yards on the ground. Justin Fields, almost as many completions as he had touchdowns. Just had one more incomplete pass than he had touchdowns in this one. J.K. Dobbins ran all over them. And Penn State, they picked up another quality win at home against Michigan. But I'll give them credit, too, for Michigan. That was a narrow loss. That actually, I think, helps out Michigan in their chase for a notable bowl game. And even for Penn State's quality. But if they'd blown out Michigan, just like Wisconsin did, it actually might have hurt Penn State. So it's weird logic, but it does actually make some sense. The losers will be coming up, but you can be a winner on BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CFB120. Gets you a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. Put down $100, they give you $120 for free. You're not going to find a better betting deal out there. It's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CFB120. All right, the losers. This one was obvious, right? Wisconsin, what are you guys doing? How do you lose to Illinois? You were up big in the third quarter, and then you just forgot to play football. And Brandon Peters completes 9 of 21 passes, and you lose. Ugh, it was a disaster for Wisconsin there. They are no doubt a big-time loser. Now, their CFP hopes are not dead yet, but if it comes down as a tiebreaker with a bunch of one-loss teams, that's a big one and a big negative one for the Badgers. All right, Boise State. Look, you got Cincinnati with one loss right now. They might not lose a game the rest of the way. App State's undefeated. Heck, SMU's undefeated. If you want to be the group of 5 rep to the New Year's 6 bowl games, you can't lose into BYU. Also, in the most obvious Baylor quarterback name ever, Baylor Romney, the starting quarterback for BYU, in his first career start, upsets Boise State. Shout out BYU. Boise takes a big-time tumble. They haven't played much competition. That's a big, big blow there for the Broncos' chances of making the group of 5 bowl this year. And finally, Missouri. They were ranked, and then they went to play Vanderbilt. And remember, it's Vanderbilt. They've been pretty bad this year. And then Missouri gives them their second win of the season. Nothing looked right. Kelly Bryant was not effective there. Keyshawn Vaughn was fantastic for Vanderbilt, both on the ground and through the air. Vanderbilt this year, folks, just some added context. They lost to UNLV last weekend at home. And then Missouri comes into town, and Vanderbilt wins. It's absolutely insane, right? It just doesn't make any sense at all. So Missouri there, big, big mistake. You cannot lose that game. They're now 5-2. They're not in the AP Top 25, and I don't know if they're going to get back into it. A pair of brutal losses. Missouri and Vanderbilt. Those cannot happen for the Tigers. That's why they are no longer in the top 25, and also why they're one of my last losers for this week. A very, very bad blow for Missouri. All right, one more time to the AP Top 25, and we'll get some of my thoughts in here as well. Alabama remains number 1, but Tua's ankle injury, that might swing the SEC and then the CFP as a result. That's a big one. We'll see how he ends up looking going forward. Notre Dame, they're number 8 here. They have their last test, the last true test of the season, because Stanford's not that good, on the road against Michigan. They win that game, not going to be a great quality of win, but the committee likes one-loss Notre Dame. Just keep that in mind. Oregon and Utah, they both win 11 and 12. They are still alive in the race for the CFP, but they're going to need both of them to keep winning until they play each other, and we'll see what happens. You saw Baylor there 14, Minnesota 17, SMU 16, Cincinnati's 18. Good for those programs. Historically, programs that have not been that good, but they're all in the top 20 right now. I like that a lot. And also Wake, you're back in the top 25. Good job, ACC. You now have 2 ranked teams inside the top 25. Took them a little bit, but they're now back in there at the AP Top 25 poll.